Good day sa lahat ng ating viewers, most especially sa ating mga grade 11 students. So ang video lesson na ito is ang additional information lamang na maaaring makatulong sa inyong pag-aaral. So today, we will going to discuss the Module 1 of Earth and Life Science, which focuses on the uniqueness of Earth, being the only planet in the solar system with properties necessary to support life. Okay, so wag na natin patagalin pa. For this session, we have 3 objectives. For objective number 1, recognize the difference in the physical and chemical properties between the Earth and its neighboring planet. So, ano nga ba ang pagkakaiba ng physical at chemical na katangian ng ating mundo at karatig na planeta? For number 2 objective, identify the factors that allow a planet to support life. So, ano nga bang mga kinakailangan upang ang mundo ay makasuporta ng buhay? And for the last objective, appreciate the uniqueness of Earth being the only planet in the solar system that has properties to support life. To start our session, let's have a short activity first. So for this pre-assessment activity, you will going to identify whether the statement is true or false. You may write your answer in your notepad or in a sheet of paper. So I will give you 10 seconds to answer for every statement. For statement number 1, Earth is the 5th largest planet in the solar system. Again, statement number 1, Earth is the 5th largest planet in the solar system. Okay, so the correct answer is true. Earth, our home, is the 3rd planet from the Sun. While scientists continue to hunt for clues of life beyond Earth, our home planet remains the only place in the universe where we've ever identified living organisms. So Earth is the 5th largest planet in the solar system. It is smaller than the 4 gas giants, which is the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and the Neptune, but larger than the 3 other rocky planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. For the second statement, Earth orbits the Sun once every 365 days. Again, Earth orbits the Sun once every 365 days. And the correct answer is false. Earth orbits the Sun once every 365.25 days. It's actually 365.256 days. So since our calendar years have only 365 days, so we add an extra leap day every 4 years to account for the difference. For the third statement, Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Again, Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. And the correct answer is true. How do we know this? So in order to find out the age of the Earth, scientists look at rock and sediment and try to determine the age of that piece of sediment. So it is not as easy as one may think. However, the processes of plate tectonics mean that the Earth is constantly recycling its rock, it breaking it down into magma in the interior before pumping it back up to the surface once more. So the oldest rock they discovered comes from Australia, and it is the basis for scientists' estimations for the Earth's age. So 4.5 billion years old, that's a lot of birthday cake. So their findings, so Earth is about 4.54 billion years old. For statement number 4, the name Earth is a Germanic word which simply means the ground. Again, for statement number 4, the name Earth is a Germanic word which simply means the ground. And the correct answer for statement number 4 is true. So the name Earth is at least 1,000 years old. So all the planets except for Earth were named after Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. However, the name Earth is a Germanic word which simply means the ground. For the last item, statement number 5, Earth is the only planet in our solar system that has plate tectonics. Again, Earth is the only planet in our solar system that has a plate tectonics. And the correct answer is true. The Earth is the only planet in our solar system that has a plate tectonics. The outer crust of the Earth has multiple regions called the tectonic plates. Beneath that is a magma interior which causes the plates to move, occasionally crashing into one another. As they collide and pull apart, the magma bubbles up and creates fresh crust to form. And that's all for our first activity. So let's now continue our discussion for our lesson. So Earth, our home and the third rock from the sun, is called the lonely planet because to our knowledge as yet, Earth is the only planet with the evidence of life. It is called the blue planet because of the abundance of water on Earth's surface. So the Earth and the other terrestrial or Earth-like planets, the Mercury, Venus, Mars, asteroids, and perhaps Pluto, are the solar system's smaller but heavier planets. So they are called rocky because of the abundance of silica in their composition. To understand more on the Earth and its neighboring planet, so let us watch and listen to this video.
Earth, the only planet known to maintain life, a product of scientific phenomena and sheer chance. This blue speck in space holds the past, present, and future of our very existence. Approximately 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth formed from particles left over from the creation of our Sun. Gravity drew these particles together to form pebbles, which then formed boulders and eventually the Earth. At its heart is a solid inner core covered by a liquid outer core. Above this sits the mantle made of flowing silicate rocks and a rocky crust. This rocky mass is the third planet from the Sun, orbiting the star from an average distance of about 93 million miles. It's close enough to the Sun to be warm, unlike the cold gas giants, but not so close that its surface is exposed to extreme heat and solar radiation, as is the case with Mercury. Earth's unique position in the solar system allows it to house phenomena yet to be found anywhere else in the universe, particularly liquid surface water and life. According to one theory, much of Earth's water is as old as its rocks, both of which having formed during the Earth's earliest days. Because of Earth's unique distance from the Sun, the planet is able to contain water in all of its forms, liquid, ice, and gas, rather than have them permanently frozen or evaporated into space. But Earth is the only known place in the universe with liquid water on the surface, thereby having unique cascading effects on the planet. It hydrates the land, helping create nutrient-rich soil. It collects and pools to form oceans and freshwater systems. And it cycles upward to add moisture to Earth's protective atmosphere. And where there is liquid water, there is life. About 3.8 billion years ago in Earth's oceans, primitive life existed in the form of microbial organisms. They, and the ensuing billions of years, gave rise to a range of more advanced life forms that thrived in Earth's seas, lands, and skies. As the only world known to harbor life, Earth's biodiversity is expansive in nature. An estimated 1.5 million species of plants, animals, bacteria, fungi, and others have been cataloged, with potentially millions, if not billions more, yet to be discovered. Home to life and fueled by water, Earth houses a unique global ecosystem, as curious and as grand as the astronomical events that made them possible.
To continue with our discussion, these terrestrial planets are Earth-like planets made up of rocks or metals with a hard surface. So those terrestrial planets also have a molten heavy metal core, few moons, and topological features such as the valleys, volcanoes, and craters. In our solar system, there are four terrestrial planets, which also happen to be the four closest to the Sun: the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and the Mars. So during the formation of the solar system, there were likely more terrestrial planetoids, but they either merged with each other or were destroyed. For the Venus, Earth, and Mars are part of the inner terrestrial or the rocky planets. Their composition and densities are not too different from each other. While the Venus is considered to be the Earth's twin planet, it has a very similar size and mass with the Earth. The Mars is about half the Earth's size. The orbital period and velocity are related to the planet's distance from the Sun. So among the three planets, the Venus is the nearest and Mars is the farthest from the Sun. In terms of rotational speed, Earth and Mars are very similar. The rotational speed of Venus is extremely slow. The abundance of the liquid water is only observed on Earth, so hence the blue color. Let us discuss briefly more on the Mercury. So we all know that Mercury is the smallest terrestrial planet in the solar system, about a third the size of the Earth. It has a thin atmosphere, which causes it to swing between burning and freezing temperatures. So the Mercury is also a dense planet. It is composed mostly of iron and nickel with an iron core. Its magnetic field is only about 1% that of Earth's, and the planet has no known moons. The surface of Mercury has many deep craters, and it is covered by a thin layer of tiny particle, which is the silicates. In 2012, scientists found extensive evidence of organics, which is the building blocks of life, as well as water ice in the craters shaded from the sun. The Mercury's thin atmosphere and the close proximity to the sun mean it's impossible for the planet to host life as we know it. Okay, so next one is Venus, which is about the same size as Earth. It has a thick, toxic carbon monoxide atmosphere that traps heat, making it the hottest planet in the solar system. So Venus has no known moons, so much of the planet's surface is marked with volcanoes and deep canyons. The biggest canyons on Venus stretches across the surface for 4,000 miles, so nearly 6,500 kilometers. So it's possible that at least some of the planet's volcanoes are still active. Few spacecraft have ever penetrated Venus' thick atmosphere and survived. And it's not just spacecraft that have trouble getting through the atmosphere, so there are fewer crater impacts on Venus than other planets because only the largest meteors can make it. So the planet is hostile to life as we know it. Okay, so next point is Earth. So of the four terrestrial planets, Earth is the largest and the only one with extensive regions of liquid water. So we all know that water is necessary for life as we know it, and life is abundant on Earth from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains. So like the other terrestrial planets, Earth has a rocky surface with mountains and canyons, and also have a heavy metal core. The Earth's atmosphere, it contains water vapor, which helps to moderate daily temperatures. The planet Earth has a regular season for much of its surface, so the regions closer to the equator tend to stay warm, while the spots closer to the poles are cooler and in the winter is icy. The Earth's climate, however, is warming up due to climate change associated with human-generated greenhouse gases which act as a trap for escaping heat. We also know that Earth is the third planet from the Sun in our solar system. So its name comes from the Old English and Germanic words meaning the ground. And last one, we have Mars. So Mars has the largest mountain in the solar system, rising 78,000 feet, so nearly 24 kilometers above the surface. So much of the surface is very old and filled with craters, but there are geologically newer areas of the planet as well. At the Martian poles are polar ice caps that shrink in size during the Martian spring and summer. So Mars is less dense than Earth and has a smaller magnetic field, which is indicative of a solid core rather than a liquid one. While scientists have found no evidence of life yet, Mars is known to have water, ice, and organics, so one of the ingredients for living things. So the evidence of methane has also been found in some parts of the surface. Methane is produced from both living and non-living processes. Mars has two small moons. We have the Phobos and the Deimos. So the red planet is also a popular destination for spacecraft given that the planet may have been habitable in the ancient past. And those are the difference in the physical and chemical properties between the Earth and its neighboring planet. To continue our discussion, so let's now identify the factors that make a planet more habitable. Okay, so number one factor is temperature. So ano nga bang function nito? Bakit ito kailangan para makasuporta ng buhay? So the most common function of temperature is it influences how quickly an atoms and molecules move. So life seems limited to a temperature range of minus 15 degrees Celsius to 115 degrees Celsius. So in this range, the liquid water can still exist under certain conditions. Okay, so next one is water. We all know that the main function of water is dissolves and it transports substance within and to and from a cell. To sustain life, water should regularly available and life can go dominant between wet periods. The third one is atmosphere. So it traps heat, shields the surface from harmful radiations, and provides chemical needed for life, such as the nitrogen and carbon dioxide. And of course, we also need energy and nutrients. Its main function is most common because the organisms use light or chemical energy to run their life processes. Again, these are the factors that make a planet habitable. So we have the temperature, the water, atmosphere, and energy and nutrients. Earth is the only planet in the solar system that it is known to have life on it. No other planet in the solar system to have life on them. The processes that shape the Earth and its environment are through constant cycle. So this cycle sustains life and leads to the formation of the mineral and resources that are the foundation of modern technological society. The sun as the main source of heat by solar radiation our planet receives. Our Earth is protected by the atmosphere 100 miles thick. So it kept the surface warm by insulating the atmosphere and protects it from radiation and small to medium sized meteorites. And it has the right chemical properties for life, including the water and carbon. On Earth, nutrients are recycled through the hydrologic cycle and plate tectonics or the volcanism. The amount of solar radiation that a planet receives is primarily a function of distance from the sun because sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So this Earth's unique composition and characteristics present in our planet, so it makes the Earth as only planet in the solar system with properties necessary to support and sustain life.
We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that. Surely we have a responsibility to care for our blue planet. The future of humanity, and indeed all life on Earth, now depends on us.
And we're done with our session, but before we end, we have a post-assessment activity. All you need to do is to identify the given statement. So you only have 10 seconds to answer in your notepad. So I think you are ready, so let's start. So these are the choices. We have the atmosphere, temperature, sunlight, water, and nutrients. Number 1, it is kept warm by an insulating atmosphere. Again, it is kept warm by an insulating atmosphere. And the correct answer is temperature. Next one is, it is about 100 miles thick, so it keeps the surface warm and protects it from radiation and small to medium sized meteorites. Again, it is about 100 miles thick. It keeps the surface warm and protects it from radiation and small to medium sized meteorites. And the correct answer for that is atmosphere. Third one, it is liquid form, turns out to be one of the most important prerequisite for life. Again, it is liquid form, turns out to be one of the most important prerequisites for life. Correct answer is water. Next one, solar radiation that our planet receives. Again, it is the solar radiation that our planet receives. And the answer for that is sunlight. And the answer for that is sunlight. Last one, it is used to build and maintain an organism. Again, it is used to build and maintain an organism. The correct answer is nutrients. For the post-assessment activity 2, answer the following question briefly in your notepad. So in this activity, you will know if you really understand our session. For the additional activity, you may also try to answer this question: how you can help to make our planet Earth a better place to live. Again, how you can help to make our planet Earth a better place to live. And that's all for this session. I hope you really learned something today, and for more video lessons, just visit our YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our video content.